a man stood at the foot of a mountain with a hammer and a chisel. No machinery, no government contract, no team. Just grief and a decision that most people would call impossible. He began to carve, not for fame, not for history, for one reason only, so that no one else would lose what he had lost. The Bhagavad Gita speaks of a quality called nishkama karma, action without attachment to reward. In the 18th chapter, Krishna tells Arjuna that the highest form of work is work offered completely, without calculating what returns to you. Not passive surrender, not cold duty, but action so total, so rooted in love that the self dissolves into the doing. This is not the philosophy of monks alone. It is the philosophy of anyone who has ever built something not for themselves, but for the world they wish had existed sooner. Dashrath Manjhi was a poor laborer from Gelaur village in Bihar, India. His wife, Falguni Devi, was injured crossing the rocky mountain that separated their village from the nearest town. Because there was no road, no shortcut, help came too late. She did not survive. The mountain had always been there. Everyone accepted it the way we accept most obstacles, as permanent as simply the shape of the world. Dashrath did not accept it. The morning after her death, he picked up a hammer and chisel and began breaking stone. His neighbors thought grief had broken him. Some laughed, some pitied him. He kept working. Through summer heat, through monsoon rains, through years that stretched into more than 2 decades. 22 years. Alone. He carved a path through that mountain, 360 feet long, 30 feet wide, reducing a journey of over 50 miles to less than 10. He was not a saint. He was not a scholar. He was a man who loved someone, lost her, and refused to let that loss be the final word. And in that refusal, something ancient and true moved through him. The first lesson is this: grief, when it is not swallowed, can become creation. We are taught to manage grief, to move through it, to arrive at acceptance, and acceptance has its place. But Dashrath's story asks a harder question. What if grief is not just something to survive, but something to transform? The Stoics call this amor fati, love of fate, not pretending the wound doesn't exist, but asking what the wound is asking you to build. The second lesson is about the illusion of scale. We look at a mountain and we say, I am one person. This is too large. We measure our resources against the size of the problem and we stop before we start. But Dashrath did not carve the mountain in 22 years. He carved it one strike at a time. The Zen tradition holds a similar truth. Ichi go, ichi e. This moment, only this moment. The road was never built in the future. It was built in each present swing of the hammer. The third lesson is quieter. It is about who we work for. Dashrath's road was not for him. By the time it was finished, his wife was long gone. He would never walk it with her, and yet he built it. This is the deepest teaching, that love, at its most mature, does not ask for the beloved to be present to justify the act. It simply acts. The Gita calls this seva, selfless service, not sacrifice born of guilt, but offering born of fullness. Here is the practice. Think of one thing in your life that feels too large, a relationship that needs repair, a creative work you've abandoned, a kindness you keep postponing. Now ask yourself, what is the smallest possible strike of the chisel today? Not the whole road, not the whole mountain, one strike. Write the first sentence, make the first call, sit with the person for 10 minutes without your phone. The Gita does not ask you to see the entire path. It asks you to take the next right action, offered completely, without demanding that the mountain move by morning. Do that one thing today. Then tomorrow, do it again. The road builds itself this way, one day, one act, one offering at a time. Dashrath Manji died in 2007. The road he carved still stands. Thousands of people walk it, drive it, cross it, most of them not knowing his name. He would not have minded. A river does not ask the valley to remember it. It simply flows, carves, and moves on. There is a kind of love that does not need to be witnessed to be real. A kind of work that does not need applause to matter. A kind of life that leaves the mountain changed quietly, permanently, completely. You have a hammer. You have today. Begin. Subscribe to LifeVeda for daily wisdom that transforms your life.